Good morning and welcome back to the channel. My name is Deborah, aka the Sunset Girl Creates, and today I have such a fun treat to finish off our Christmas prep week, right? So I'm getting everything prepped this week and ready to go. The Christmas ornaments are done. The tree is up. Almost to my liking. I think there might be a few tweaks to it. But today we are going to be putting together my 1 foot caricatures that will be around my Christmas tree. So this is the first one that we'll be doing. I already have it put on to the black offset, as well as I have it set up to put one together so you can see at the beginning what it looks like underneath, and then we'll end up bringing them together. Now I have some sticky dots on here, so I'm being very careful just to kind of lay it over and make sure they don't touch, because I do not want those sticky dots attaching to anything until I'm done. So what tools will we be using today? Today I'm going to be using my Silhouette ruler. It's a 6-inch clear ruler, so that's why I'm using it. I'm using my dowels. They're mini dowels. They're 6-inch dowels. And I use them to, so that I can put them in the base. So I have a base. It's a square base and it has a hole in it. We'll put these in the hole, and both of these, I'll have 2 of them in the hole, and they'll stand up. So if I take this one out and we just kind of plop this one in kind of as a demonstration, it's going to go into the hole almost all the way down. So see, I have it right down to the very, very tip top. So can you see that right there, how close that is? So you can barely see that dowel. And what I'll probably do is I'll paint that dowel black. Okay? But that's essentially how they will fit into the bases. We'll also be using a bunch of our popsicle sticks, and I have a whole bag of them. This is just enough to have to work on this project in front of me. And I also have my it's not an X-Acto knife, really. It is per se. It's just a great big one, right? I have 2 of them, 2 pink ones like this. They came in pink kits that have a hammer and tape measure and screwdrivers, all that. Little sets for me to have when I first moved to Florida, so that I wouldn't feel like I had no place to put my stuff, or if I wanted to put together a table, I would have the tools necessary to do so. I also have my handy dandy super bonder, and it is I can have it on high or low heat, and this just slides in and out. So, and it has easy storage. I use the big sticks. I haven't tried the colored ones yet, and I don't think I'm going to in this one. I think I'll get a small one see if they have just a small mini gun at the Dollar Tree that I can use. I've got to go over there today, so I'll be going over in that direction. So what are we going to be doing other than finishing this one? I'm actually going to show you how I take them from this stage of them being cut to the full stage of being completed. These won't take that long. They take about 15-20 minutes to put together. I had to gather everything for the supplies and everything, and I got this done in 15 minutes on the big one. So this one is unique because of the way print and cut works. I couldn't have this little present on this side, so I cut it in the Silhouette program, and it'll sit right there. But if you're going to make cuts so that you can accommodate the print and cut or whatever you may want to do, And we'll get into like I can do screen records and stuff later if we want to do some demos on it. But it allows me to be able to put that in there. And then if you do it on the cut lines, it's going to fit and you can cover it up with your glitter. So you won't even know that that was cut out. And when I do the glitter, or when I'm doing the cutout, I take and I use the knife to cut it, but then I don't let it auto apply. I uncheck the auto apply button and I go into the line, section of the menus, and I'll change it to 0.25, right? 0.025. And that makes that line like you can barely see it. And so when it cuts, it makes it as small amount of taking out, because when you cut something, you're taking a little bit of it out, right? So when I cut that way, I'm taking the least amount, and it's going to affect my piece a little bit less. So if you look at this one, they're all put together. So this is Rudy and this is Ruby, and there are reindeers. And then I was able to find Rudy as a baby bear, right? And then I have a big one of Ruby. And my husband and I looked at them and figured out which ones we wanted to be in front of our tree. And these are the 3 that we came up with. Now, it depends on how much time I have to finish getting ready, because I really only have this week and next week for any of my prep stuff. I have got a good portion of it done already, which I'm thrilled. Usually I'm not this far along this fast. And so it usually takes me a bit of time. And then the other thing I thought I'd put together is this really beautiful, it's called a star tree, right? And you cut 4 of these pieces. So I wanted to do it this year in glitter. And all of my ornaments on my tree are pink. So that's why I try to put everything around the pink theme that I can, so that it pops those ornaments on the tree, right? So you have the pink and gold. And as you can see, I kind of did them differently. And these are going to fold in half once I put them all together. They'll fold in half and then they'll go together. So they'll essentially go together, butted up against each other like this, and they'll come out, right? So you'll have 4 sides. So there's 4. So I did gold and pink. And then this one is purple on the top with gold on the bottom. And then I did pink on the top with gold on the bottom. And then I flipped it with the purple. Okay, so then I did the gold at top, and so that they were kind of play off each other. The colors kind of, glitters bounce off each other. They will be done, put together. So I will be putting together these 2 pieces so that they're opposites. Or actually it'd have to be, how am I going to do that? I'll have to figure out exactly how these are going to go together. So that we're not, because I have 2 short ones and I have 2 long ones, but I want to put them, I want to do it purple, pink, so that it goes back and forth, and the purples aren't next to each other and the pinks aren't next to each other. So there's got to be a way, and I'll figure it out once I'm not sitting here doing a video on how to put it together. When I actually put this together, I will pull it up on camera, and I will do it on camera once I have the first one figured out. And that way you can see how this goes together as well. And this one won't have the popsicle sticks, I don't think. I'll see. I'll have to see how it goes and how it folds, and if I have room to put any popsicle sticks. The popsicle sticks just help give it support. So, you know, when you're building, I'm going to be moving my tools out of the way so that we can actually, and put them where I can get to them. And we're going to actually get started. We're going to put these two together, and I said I wasn't going to lay these on top of each other, and I did. Because I was moving things around. So, we're going to put this one together, and then I'm going to show you how I put this one together, step by step. This should take us the hour. If there's any time left, we can either decide, I'll either put this other one together, or I'll start doing a little bit of the glitter work. Because what I have to do is the same thing that I did with the ornaments. And that's why it takes time, because I have to do the front of these pieces, and then I flip them over after they sat overnight, because I don't, once they're done, they sit for 24 hours to get good and sealed dry, right? And then once that 24 hours is up, then I will turn it over and repeat the process on the other side. Just like I did with the ornaments. We did one day, and the next side we did the other side. So that's basically what I have to do with each of these. So these won't be done till the end of the weekend. And that's just fine with me, because I spend a lot of time in this room, and it's really fun, and I really have so much fun doing it, right? So we're going to, as I'm chit-chatting, I want to show you, you kind of see how you have some of these popsicle sticks going in this direction, some at like an angle, and then some straight, and then some different angles. You want to do this so that it's not in the same place, because if you did them all in the same, if I did them all four straight up and down, all of them like this, it's going to bend. You need to put them so that it allows it to stay in its straight upright position. This is not going to go anywhere once it's put down, right? So what we need to do is I start off at the bottom, because I have my stickies on here, and it's a good way to kind of anchor the piece where you want it, right? So make sure before you secure it at all that you have it good and lined up. And all I'm going to do is line this one up, and I'm going to do the stickies, okay? I'm going to make sure that those double-sided glue dots or foam dots, should have put one right there. I might slip one in there. Okay, so you got your foam dots. And the only thing that's being held down now is by the foam dots. Because we're going to want to, and I'm going to turn it to the side so you can see what I'm doing. But I'm going to pick it up, and I'm going to grab my glue gun, and we're going to put glue on our sticks, okay? Oh, it just hit the next, just finished that last one, okay? And you want to put glue on your sticks, okay? Because we're going to glue it down, right? We just need to make sure we have glue on our sticks. You want to make sure that you get a good amount on your sticks, okay? And then we'll put it on here. And then I have two more glue dots on this side. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make sure that this is lined up the way I want it before I put a good pressure on it. And I'm just going to lay it down and make sure that I attach to the spots that I was attaching to, okay? So now I can lift it up, and I'm actually going to see if I do it this way. You can see what I'm doing. It's a lot easier to use my glue gun in my right hand. I should probably put the camera on the other side to do this, but I didn't think about it. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make sure that all the ones that are showing in this area have glue on them so I can secure it down, right? So I'm going to secure it down to this point. And you do it together separately, kind of like this. That way you get a nice secure hold to your popsicle sticks, and your glue's not going to dry before you get it laid down, okay? And so now I'm just going to go real quick onto those last ones. And here we go. There we go. And I am just going to pull that down. And now it's double-sided, right? It's double-sided. And it can stand. So I have 2 stands. Guess what? I came prepared with 2 stands. So this is going to sit in front of my Christmas tree like this. Okay, and you just have to make sure that you get them down equally into it, right? And then it'll sit just like this on my table. I will glitter it so it will look like the similar to the one that's already over there. So this one is done except for the glitter work, right? So what did I do? I designed it, made sure it was the right size. I had to cut it, so my cut lines are right here on both sides, right across this line. Because I knew by that line, I could put glitter on there because I know that I'll be glittering the pink and the red. And so it'll be good to go, right? And so it's just a matter of making sure that you're getting it in an inconspicuous spot when you're doing your cutting. That is just a piece of, somehow I got a piece of something on here. So that's how those turn out. And if you have any questions, comments, concerns about the process, I'm happy to answer any questions. These have to go in and I have to adjust them, and I might need to have my husband do 2 different ones for these ones, because it makes it a lot easier if you have 2 that are done exactly the same. So that one's done. So now we're going to bring on our next one. So this one has 5 pieces. So we have, I'm going to put my glue gun paper over here because I need to have my glue gun where I can get to it. And I do not want to get glue on my mat. And unfortunately right now I have a spot of glue on my mat that I've got to get off. And here we go. I always keep baby wipes. It's the easiest thing to use to get things off. I could have waited till it dried and popped it off as well. But if I can get it while it's still semi-warm and pliable, it will come right off. Okay? And that's all it is just doing that. I'm going to leave that open for us to use if we need it later. So you never know when you might need a wet wipe, right? Wet wipes are great for cleaning up little messes and stuff on your mats. Now, mind you, my mat is not used for sewing, right? So it is crafty, and you can see it's very well used, okay? And I'm not ashamed to say that my stuff is very well used. So what we need to do, we are going to be taking these and we're going to be matching them up right here. And we will be sticking them together, right? We want to make sure that when we put it on here, that it's going to be as centered with the offset as possible. So I chose this time, usually I do solid black offsets to put my stuff on, but since it was Christmas, I wanted to try something different. I wanted to see what it would look like if I did multiple colors on the backs of them, depending on what colors are in the actual piece. So I have this green, which is a slightly different shade of green than the background, but it pulls the background but doesn't take away from the background. So it doesn't pull away from the greens that are in here. It just kind of highlights and accents them. It brings them to life. So if I put this here, it really makes a difference, right? So that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be putting these together. We're going to put the big part together first, and then we'll put this package on, and I'll show you how quickly and easily it is to put those back together. So now what we're going to do is, in order to put these together, I use double-sided tape. So I have my advanced tape glider that I use, and I have generic tape in there, but it is acid-free. Make sure that anytime you're doing paper stuff, that if it's an adhesive, it says acid-free, okay? That means it will stay longer and you'll be able to use it, okay? Now what we're going to do is we really want to get as close to the edges as possible on these, because that's where we're going to be putting it together with the other cardstock, okay? So I will go around and do nice tight lines on here so that we can make sure that we get what we need in here. I won't be working on these all day today because today is going to be baking day. I have a bunch of baking to do. I'm going to be making some cinnamon rolls, and hopefully either cinnamon rolls, or I don't think I can do the coffee cake right now because I do not have any sour cream. So I could always go to the store, I suppose, and get a little bit of sour cream. It probably wouldn't hurt me, but I just don't want to go to the store. I'm going to be honest and blunt with you. If I don't have to go to the store, I don't want to go to the store. I'm not much of a shopper, so I'm not going to be one that you're going to find that goes out to the stores and comes back with a lot of hauls. I do a lot of my craft buying online. However, I will be, and I'm just going through and taping this right now. So I'm just going to talk to you as we go through and get this taping done. It's really, really, really important, especially where next to where you're going to be connecting a piece, that you get a really nice, tight, as close to the edge as possible, so that when you butt it next to each other, it will be clean and the pieces aren't going to lift right next to it, right? So we want to make sure that it's going to be solid on it, okay? So now I'm almost done. It really is a little bit of time consuming, but in the end, you're going to have a gorgeous piece that people are going to ask you about. It's going to be one of those showstoppers, right? It's going to be one of those ones that people can't believe that you did it. How did you do it? I got to know your secret, right? Yeah, it's one of those kind of things. That's a pretty big deal, right? Make sure before you lift up from with your tape gun that you actually let go of the trigger first, or it just gets caught. Okay. And oh, I always put something down the middles of the bigger sections. So I just cross hatch them most of the time. And yeah, I try to keep my fingers off the tape, but for some reason they don't want to do that today. But we'll get through it, right? Just like we do everything else. There we go. Okay. So I learned all of my techniques, or I will say not all of them. Let me not say all of them. Let me say I'm going to start up here on the antlers, because that is the spot where you're going to be able to tell the most that it would be off its section, right? It's not lined up properly. I just want to make sure that it's as even around it as possible. Don't pull your hand back when you're doing it. There we go. There we go. So I watched the most amazing thing this morning while I was prepping to get ready for this video, right? I'm just going and now carefully pressing down ensuring that all the points right here where I'm about to put together has got a nice tight hold, right? And this is just going to make sure that the tape you put in there, put down, is adhering to your entire piece. So I like to just double check once it's in to make sure I know exactly how I'm going to put it together, right? And right now you'll see a slight line, but you didn't lose the shadow. So see how this one has the shadow underneath and this one has the dots in the shadow? I didn't lose any of that detail by doing the cuts the way I do. Okay, and I've learned. I have to admit, how did I learn to do all of this stuff on the silhouette? I learned by watching videos. I can never say her name right, but I'm gonna stick her. I'm gonna look for her. For some reason, she's not on my favorites anymore in YouTube, which surprises me all get out. But I will have to find her, and I will link her channel below because she's got some really good videos. But I want her to make sure. I want you to make sure that you go over and check her out. Because she's so kindly put all these videos on YouTube for me to learn, and I want to give her the credit. She deserves the credit because the techniques, and I've taken them farther than what I was when I was watching her videos, but it's her initial start out that allowed me to feel the freedom and be able to do some of this stuff that I do now. Because I wasn't able to, I didn't know. I had just bought a brand new one. I was at, my husband and I went to watch football at Wing House one Sunday. And I was talking with one of the regular bartenders that we talked to, because she was always there on Sunday. She told me about this thing called the Silhouette that cut paper, and you can make banners and stuff out of it. I'm like, no, there's not something like that. No way. I always wished I could have something like that in the past. It would have been a great craft tool back in the day. I picked that up and relaid it down because my line was just slightly off. And I could see the green. And this one now, it's like on top of each other. So it's still off a little bit. But with the double-sided tape, it does allow you movability, right? It allows you to release and put it back. And it allows you to get a nice clean fit too, right? And just bear with me as I do this because I want to concentrate, make sure that my line is perfect. Okay, there we go. And I'm going to cover it so you won't see it. Oh, that's still not right. See, and the benefit of it, and see, I kind of am glad that it's taking a little bit of effort to get this and it's just not lining up perfectly, because it's not a perfect science, right? The thing is I've got to get it in so it doesn't overlap, but yet it doesn't show any of the green, right? The green offset paper. And that's going to be too high. So it's just a matter of trying to put it in there and get it to go in the way you want it to go in and not the way it wants to go in. Okay, that's more like in the range of where it needs to be. And there we go. There we go. Have we got it? There we go. Okay, there. Now it's buttoned up to it. Perfect. Okay, so I'm kind of glad that it took an extra minute to get that on. But if you look at it and you didn't know the difference, could you really tell? That's so cool that you can do that. Okay, other side. This one, because of the way it was inside the silhouette, it didn't have to be cut. And what it is there's an ability to get what's called print and cut, so you can get pictures off the web, you can bring in your own drawings, anything, and you can put them in And then you can print them as long as you have certain things called registration marks on. You can print them, okay? And then once you've printed them, you can do a print and cut. So you print it and it's got registration marks. It allows a silhouette to line up. So when it cuts on the very edge. Do you see? Well, this one has just a tad bit of white on it. I figured out why I was having so much stressful trouble with my silhouette is when I rearranged my office, I put it on top of some bookshelves and there's not a whole lot of room for it to maneuver. I'm just making sure it does line up properly before I put the tape on it. And I have a piece right here that I need to use the X-Acto knife and clean it real quick. So if you have anything like that, you can take your X-Acto knife and it'll clean up really easy. And that just came from when I was taking it off the paper and separating it. So there we go. We know it lines up perfectly up there. So we're going to flip this over again. Excuse me. And we're going to repeat our process, right? So let me tell you about this awesome video that I was watching before when I was prepping for this video this morning. So I live in Florida, about 2.5, 3 hours away from Orlando at the most, right? So Disney World is just around the corner. Well, I've got Disney Plus now, and they actually had a behind-the-scenes look at decorating Disneyland and Walt Disney World for Christmas. So it showed all the back end of it, how they repaint and refurbish every single one of the parts of the event. And so every year they're fresh and new like. And so they're all refurbished throughout the year. And then they spend one night and come together and install it all in one night. They wait until the last guest goes off and they get a call saying the last guest is out of the park and that they could start their decorating. And it's a mad dash to get it all done by morning, and by the time that the park opens in the morning. And it was just fascinating. They showed how they did. Okay, so I grew up, though. Now, I grew up in California. So I've been to Disneyland multiple occasions, okay? My parents loved to take us to Disneyland. And I was in different organizations where we earned money to go on trips, and we did a couple times to Disneyland because we were in California. We didn't go to Disney World, you know. I'm just looking to make sure that I didn't miss any sides on anything. And you can see the tape gives a little bit of a glisten, so you can see it at an angle. And so, but it was really cool. They showed how they did Cinderella's castle. There's like over 100 pieces just for the winter exhibit, the Christmas exhibit for Cinderella's castle. All the topiaries, all the snow caps to all the points on the castle, right? Everything. I mean, I was like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. Then they showed how they prep for the Christmas parade, and how the dancers, they have to literally practice because they have to do approximately 16 routines per parade, right? So they're going to be performing that same routine 16 times. So they have to build their stamina, right? You can't just go out on stage and do it without building some kind of stamina, right? This one to me needs another one right here. Don't be afraid to use too much glue, okay? Or tape. I'm never afraid to use too much tape on my products and my projects. because that didn't get right at the edge. I really like it by the edge right here by the antlers. Okay, there we go. I know I don't have to have that much glue on it. I know, but it's just the way I do it. Okay. I'm going to turn this back around and we're going to put it together with the antlers again. Okay. And this really isn't that long of a process. I mean, it really takes more time to prep for the cuts than it actually takes to put them together usually. Now these are smalls. These are very small scale. I mean, they're like, I think they're 10 inches tall. Let's see. I was seeing if I had a tape measure at hand. I don't, but guess what we do have at hand, if I can see where I put it. We have a ruler around here somewhere. It's clear, so I'm not going to be able to see the darn thing. It's probably sitting right in front of my face even. And I don't see it. Oh, well, we can do it on the... Look, my mat's got it, right? My mat has got the inches. So it is, they are 10 inches, okay? So these ones are 10 inches, right at 10 inches, okay? I typically do these at 24 inches. I chose not to do that this year. One, I have limited paper, because I didn't up my supply after the holidays last year. So I am short a little bit on my basic color papers, basically black, right? And my whites in 8.5 by 11. However, I did find that I could take my paper cutter right here, and I have a paper cutter, and let me see if I can get it unattached again. It does pull out. It's like a pain in my backside to pull out though. Okay, here we go. So you just line up the paper on here, and it's got a divot to do it. You can actually set it so you can set it for different angles as well. So if you need to do an angle, you can do an angle cut. You can lock it into place. I'm not quite sure how you lock it into place, but supposedly you can lock it into place. I know you can lock it there. Okay, and this is probably just so when you go here, it will match up to where it should be. I would think. But anyways, that's my paper cutter. It's from the Paper Studio. Anything Paper Studio is Hobby Lobby. I'm not a big Michaels fan. Hobby Lobby is my craft store of choice. Okay, so what we're going to be doing now is we're going to flip. And we're going to see how we want to position our popsicle sticks. Now you can see this is too long, right? So we're going to have to cut that, right? Right about there. So I'm going to take my pen, and I want to put a little cut mark right there, because I know that's where I need to cut this one. Okay? I mean, I'll show you how we'll cut it too. But that just allows me to know how long I need that popsicle stick, right? I'm going to need one to go from here and up through here, so it's going to be a very tight squeeze, but I think we'll be able to get it in there. We'll probably hide it with a little bit of glitter, so if it does show through, you won't see it from the backside. Okay, so there's that. So we need one there. We're going to want to put one at least right about here so it holds that antler. Then we're going to want to put this one about here. And make sure that they're not like this. If they're down here next to each other, they're going to bend. But if you put them at an angle like this, I have a piece of hot glue or something on that board somewhere right there. And it's like, yeah, let me see if it'll pop off. Yeah, it's not going to pop off. Okay, just bent my fingernail though. So just make sure it's at an angle. We want to cut this one as well. And it's a lot easier for me to know how I want to cut and where I want to cut once I lay my popsicles out. Now, when I'm doing the big ones, I typically don't have to do a whole lot of cuts with my sticks. Okay? I don't usually. And I'm just going to work on lining that up to where I want it. And I think I kind of want it there, as long as it's going to stay at that angle. So I want it to kind of go right along there. This one's going to come out here. I just want to make sure I've got it lined up and I actually put my cut mark where I want it. So now I'm going to do another cut mark because I need it to go right here. And so I want it to cut, but I want it up here as much as I can, right? So I want to make sure that I'm not overlapping anywhere. I can still do this at this angle. No, we got to make sure it's the right angle. It can be a little daunting when you're first trying to do this, but bear with yourself. I'm going to actually cut it right down here. So I have a line, okay, for there. And then I'm going to want to put one across here, and I can probably get a nice, I think I'm going to cut this one at the tip right there. This is a lot of cuts. I typically don't make this many cuts on popsicle sticks, but I am working with much smaller pieces than I typically work with. Okay, and then I want one more to kind of go down the middle, just like that. Okay, so then we're done. Now what do we got to do? We've got to go and cut these popsicle sticks. So this one is right here. I'm going to take the big heavy-duty X-Acto knife, right? Don't do that. I accidentally almost hit the wrong button. And I'm just going to score it, right, where I want it. Get a nice score mark on there. And then I'll turn it on its side and put my blade right in that score mark, right? Because now I've got it scored. It's going to show my blade where it needs to go, right? I'm just going to get a nice little cutout on that side, and I'm going to do the same on this side. So I'm just going to follow that and grab it and do a cut down, right? Get it going, okay? And then what I do is I just do a small pop because I don't want to have a lot of things. So it's just enough for me to see that last little bit of a cut I need to make, and it breaks right off. So it doesn't take a whole long time to do it, right? So once I get these all done, so give me just a minute and we'll do 2 more. That's all we've got. That one's going to be a little more challenging, but we'll get it. Okay, this one's at an angle, so we want to make sure we get that angle good. So nice good score on that. This one's going to be kind of strange to do because we have to make sure that we're doing it at that angle when we put this in. Okay, flip it over, making sure that you're maintaining that angle. So I'm coming off that angle right here, right? I'm going to put it right there so I maintain that angle on my stick so that it keeps going in the same direction. Okay, and then once I have that, I'll be able to do the same. Let me see, my score is not digging deep enough, so let's score it again and get a nice good deep score on it. It does take a little strength in your arms to get that first started. Oh, okay. I don't know that I'm going to be able to cut this one the way I want to cut it, at least quickly, because it's just not wanting to. Oh, there it goes finally. Okay, now I got that, so now I can just follow the line and do a nice quick pop off. Okay, I just wanted to put it back at the right angle so I could get it in that line to cut. Okay, so you just have to play with it, honestly. It's really one of those you have to play with it kind of games, right? I almost want to put it that way, with one this way. Yeah. Okay, and then we can do it with that. That's actually going to be a better way to lay that out. So let's get these ones on, and then I'll worry about that one in a minute, okay? But let's get a nice squeeze on our hot glue gun. Okay, and then we're just going to make sure our popsicle stick lays on there, being careful not to get your finger near the hot glue you just laid. It's a lot easier if you put your stick down, right? I have a diamond in here that doesn't need to be there. I want to put this one down first, because if I put this one down first, then I'll know the exact angle that the other one needs to be at. And this one, because of where it's at, I'm going to use both hands because I need to make sure that it lays down just at a specific spot to ensure it's not seen. So sometimes you need to lift up your hand and find the spot. Now I'm trying to decide if I want to go this way. I think I'm going this way. Is that going to bend that? That's my concern. What if I go this way here? Or I could go this way. Let me take it from here to here. And then I can take one here and it'll be a nice, okay. And the whole thing is I just want to make sure that it's not going to bend once I'm done. So I'm going to put it in a position so it doesn't bend, right? Because that's the point of it. The point of it is to help it stand, right? We want to help it stand. This one, I'm actually going to, now that I put it in that position, I don't need to cut this one. So we're going to take this one and we're going to go right up that middle. And we're going to drop our stick. Okay, so sometimes you can even make changes and it ends up being in your favor, right? I just dropped a whole bunch of hot glue again on my mat. Okay, me and hot glue don't get along all the time, but we'll figure it out. Okay, so then we have that one. We need to put our one that's going to go across here, and so that one's probably going to need, that is going to need to be cut. Okay, but let's see what we can do here, because I want to make sure that I have a nice, do I want to cut it that way? And then it go like that. I'm just trying to figure out the best way to position this so that, oh, there, that's it. That's how we want to do it, just like that. Okay, so where's my pen? I'm just going to cut it straight on right there. So it's an easier cut since we're on camera. Normally I would probably do it at the angle, but it's still slightly at an angle, but it's going to work a lot better. Okay, we're getting it. Let me score it 2 more times. One more, good score. Okay, now, yeah, we got a good score on it that time. Perfect. Okay, and so I'm going to go like that. And I'm going to come up and go like that. And then I'm going to try to pop it. There we go. If you can get it to pop, you're in a good spot. Because that's really what you're trying to do, is just get it to pop enough so that you can get a nice, quick cut through it, okay? So make sure you know your angle. And see, you can just barely see it. But that's all I need. It's just enough to see a little bit, right? And then this will just pop, right? And there we go. And see how nice that came out? So we're going to put our glue right here. Right here. There we go. And let's put our stick. And right there. Let me see. Now what I do at this point is a lot of times I pick it up and see if there's something that I need to do to make it more sturdy. And I kind of do here. And I got to figure out how I want to put it. Probably, oh, I have let me use this one little one, which is probably all I need to secure that right there. See? And so keep a hold of your little ones. You never know when you're going to need it. So I don't ever pre-cut any of mine. And most of the time I don't have to cut them at all. But I won't pre-cut them either way, because I want to make sure that it's clear and nothing's going to happen. So there's that one, and I got one more to do. I will always put one up here on this top antler, only because I know that if I don't do that, it's going to get shaky. So I'm actually going to put a new line on here. It's going to go right about here, because that's really where I want it now that everything's laid in. See, and that's the whole thing. You kind of want to just go as you go. And that's why I said we do it from start to finish, because you really need to not miss one of these steps, right? Because if not, you're not going to have a sturdy piece. And if you want to put these on a table at a birthday party, remember that there's going to be kids around those pieces. So you want to make sure they're nice and sturdy, right? Not that kids are really going to go and destroy it, I don't think, but it's just nice to be prepared, right? That's what I think. Okay, so we've almost got this. I got one more push on this to do. It's just making sure you get it in the right notch. Okay, and then let's pop it and slice, and there we go. And simple. So now we'll make sure where we're going to put it. Are we putting it there? No. It's the best way to put this. Do I want to do it there? Yes, I'm just going to put it across here, and then I'll check it. But I think that's all I need to do. And there we go. Drop it down. Let's see. And that's perfect. See, it doesn't flop. That's what we're looking for. Okay, now the next part is super easy. We're going to do this put them together thing again real quick, okay? So, I'm going to have it here. And this is flipped over. We know that it's going to lay right across here, right? So that's why we're going to lay it out. I want to have this one with glue. I want this one. I want this one. This one. It's small, so I'm going to lay this big I'm going to lay it down in 2 sections. Okay? So the first section I'm going to, and I want to get it, I'll get it centered up here where I don't have any glue yet. So when I drop that, it's going to drop into place. Straight into place. I don't have to do anything else to it, right? It's straight into place and it's straight. So now one last thing we've got to do is we've got to pick it up. We've got to glue what we didn't glue yet. So let's put some glue on these sticks. And you don't need a whole lot of sticks with the smaller ones. You use a whole lot more sticks with the bigger ones than you use on the smaller ones. Okay? And, oh! We didn't put it for a stand. Shoot. Well, let me figure out how to do that, because I got it all the way across the bottom. I don't know where I'm going to do that. I'll have to see and play with it. At this point, this is something I'm going to have to play with to put that in. So I'll show you once it's all done. Anyways, I forgot to put my stick in. But here are the 2 that we got completed. And I just have to put the other one up together. Let me see where we're at time-wise. Yep, we're right on schedule. So we got these 2 completed. I'm going to say this one's completed even though I have to put the stick in the bottom. And I might not. I might put it somewhere else. I might do something else with it. Who knows? So these 2 are done. Our ornaments are done. I will be finishing putting this one together when we are done with the call. And then once that's done, I do the glitter work. And I'll be doing a bunch of glitter work today. And I'm going to figure out how to put my tree together. So my tree's going to go together too. So that's what I'm working on the rest of the day. But thank you for coming to the video. If you like this video, a thumbs up would be great. If you don't, a thumbs down is fine, but let us know in the comments below. If you want to be part of the Sunset Girl Creates family, we would love to have you to become a part of our family. All you have to do is hit that subscribe button down below. And if you want to know every time we upload our videos, go ahead and hit that bell icon down there, and I'll let you know every time I upload a video. So with that said, I want to thank you all for coming. Happy Friday. you might get a video, might, over the weekend. If not, I will see you on Tuesday, and enjoy and have a fantastic day. And I'm hoping to have all my decorations ready to go so that next week we can decorate. So next week is going to be Christmas decoration week. And I'm going to take you through the process I go through to do my tree, making sure that my tree has enough lights on it first, and then make sure that it's set up and good to go for my ornaments to go on. Make sure all my ornaments have holders and hangers, the whole 9 yards. So we'll go through all of that next week. So if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, let me know down below. So if you will, wish you a good day. Bye-bye.